As he was ordered, Rubble had taken off of the outskirts of town in the search of Marshall. Along the way, Rubble he did his best to reason crime until he had separated from the others. When he did, he finally unleashed the waterworks. He didn't like anyone to see him cry. It's bad enough he was the youngest out of a pup, and the youngest out of a group. Even younger than Everest, who had only been a Paw Patrol member for a few weeks. But he didn't want to be seen as a crybaby. However, this one moment he could let go of his desire to look more grown up. Guilt hung his heart by the neck. He wished he could take it back what he said about Marshall. He's a great pup and a great Paw Patrol member. By the time he finished crying, he had arrived from the farm Yumi and Al's barn. Recently married couple had agreed to help find Marshall by searching their fields. It had been half an hour since then. Rubble has been calling for Marshall without stop, even trying his communicator tag. Stopping his bulldozer in front of a farm, Rubble looked around again for any sign of a Dalmatian. Suddenly he gasped for joy when seeing what looked like a cloud with the puffs and black dots between the sack of hay. I knew one Dalmatian that has that look. He joyful drove his bulldozer and hay to the hay pile that he used it to move the hay, only to realize that it's one of the cows instead. Hey, you're not Dalmatian, you're not even Marshall. The cow rolled his eyes before walking away. Rubble sighed before dropping his hay back. He's not here. Maybe I should check the other areas. But what if he's already long gone from Adventure Bay? The thought that he could never see his buddy again made Rubble whimper. I can't believe I said those things to him. Sure, he screw ups, but all of us do. Even me. Hell, I screw up a lot when I first joined. Okay, Rubble, you can do this. Rubble muttered to himself as he leaned forward from his seat. It's been a week in a sense he had officially joined Paw Patrol. While he didn't been sent on missions and give him plenty of time to learn how to use a bulldozer. Head backwards instead. Gasping, the bulldog realized that he had left the sack in reverse. Looks like Rubble is in trouble. This bulldozer continued to move backward until it slammed into the tree, nearly knocking the wind out of the rubble. Moaning, he turned off and sighed. I'm never going to get this down. Hey, Rubble, what's going on? Rubble turned his head to see the Paw Patrol Firepup Marshall walking towards him with a smile on his face. Hey, you're trying out of a bulldozer, Rider Maid? How is it working? It works fine. It's me. That's not working right. Sighed Rubble, sinking into his chair. Really? Asked Marshall, jumping up, leaning near the bulldog. What's wrong? I keep screwing up. I want to be the Paw Patrol member so badly, but every time I try to do work this thing, I keep forgetting something, said the saddened pup. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a construction pup. Hey, don't think that. If Ryder thinks you're perfect for the team, then I trust him. Besides, everyone screws up. Even I do when I started using my fire truck, said Marshall, putting a paw on Rubble's shoulder. What did you do? Marshall blushed and chuckled. Every time I used my ladder, I had always come down riding on my butt. It got really sore and red, to the point where I could have been named Marshall the Red Butt Pup. Rubble snorted before laughing out loud. Imagine the sight of such thing. That's so funny. Do you get it better? Oh, I did, but I still fall on it occasionally, while also getting on a ton of other crashes as you. Like this afternoon when you slam on Zuma's marbles and slamming your head into Ryder's pizza. Yeah, but it was worth it for the pepperoni. Robin, the point is, we all screw up a bit. You just need to keep practicing, but you'll get awesome in no time. Okay, let's give it a go. He turned the bulldozer, and this time remembered to pull the drive, pressing forward. Rubble grinned his teeth and his domination as he lowered his large bride and began to snoop around in the sand. Yeah, I did it! Wait, Rubble! You forgot to stop the blade! The two watched the scooper continue going up until it reached the top and tip in the sand of a tour on top of him. The two dogs held their breath until they covered a pile of sand headed down, popping out of it. They look at each other and just laugh at the sight of themselves. Hey, what have you done? Do you want to watch Apollo the Super Pup? Do you want to watch Apollo the Super Pup with me? Who's Apollo? Rubble chuckled at the memory, true to Marshall's word. He did get it better this time went on, and he was just as good as the rest of his friends. He then whimpered again, and he had realized that he had been assaulted the very pup who had given the confidence to be who he is today, by calling him a screw up. But Marshall helped and saved the day so many times, even with his screw ups. Yet I yell at him, all for messing up my favorite card, all for messing up my favorite cartoon that he introduced me to. A cartoon it was just a cartoon. It could be seen again, even on demand. But a friend was irreplaceable, voting to never see the Apollo cartoon until he found Marshall. Rubble continued on his search. Zuma had searched every beach there and was in Adventure Bay, but no luck in finding Marshall. None of the people or animals on the beach had seen him either. That left only be the ocean and nearby islands to search for his buddy. But Zuma doubted Marshall at any of them. Granted, any of the islands would have been a great place to run away, but Marshall would have known that Zuma could have tracked him down with his hovercraft. Deciding to report in, Zuma hit his commander tag for Ryder. Zuma here, no sign of Marshall. I'm going to Toy Seal Island, and get any of other nearby ones. I doubt he went there. But we can't leave no place unchecked. Search whenever you can, Zuma. Zuma sighed as he had Ephraim and turned to the right. I see Wally the Walrus and waving at him, fish in his mouth. Hey, Wally, have you seen Marshall? Wally shook his head, but then turned through a fish out of his mouth and hit Zuma straight out of his snout. Zuma shook it off and Wally caught it again. Thanks anyway, dude. Wally arf a goodbye as Zuma began to wonder about Marshall again. If Marshall had run away, those words must have been a lot of harsher than they mean to be. Zuma didn't hate Marshall. He really cared about him a great deal. He was brave, funny, and he always willing to be helpful. As the second youngest, he saw all his peers as his big brothers and sister. Chase was the responsible big brother. Sky was a graceful sister. Rocky was a smart brother. Rubble, despite being younger than Zuma, he was a playful little brother. And Marshall was a fun big brother. The kind who kept you smiling no matter what, and with Ryder acting like a father figure to him. It's like having a family. We must, and we house our family by hiring Marshall, thought Zuma. Turning his head, noticed a bow and rental shop that brought Zuma back towards his first mission, where he saw just how awesome Marshall was. Not to mention how dictated his he was on to the duty as a fire pup. Although he had been hoping his first mission as a Paw Patrol would be big, an electrical fire had caused a boat rental shop to catch fire, and the entire team was needed to handle it. Marshall took a lead by using his fire truck to spray the water at the building, while Chase kept the growing crowd away from danger. Sky was keeping an eye on things in the air, being mindful of the smoke. Zuma and Rocky were in charge, making sure the nearby boats didn't catch on fire. Zuma was surprised by how calm the tree was. They had been operational for a few months, but they were acting like pros. Zuma, having only been around for 2 weeks, couldn't help but be impressed, while Rocky was using his tools to unhook the boat and tying them to the hovercraft. Zuma was ordered to bring him to the other side of the bay, as far from the fire as possible. That's the last one, Ryder, calling his new owner. He watched as Rocky tied the rope of the last boat to the harbor. Great job, Rocky and Zuma. You guys head back there and help, help! That's my store! Shouted the voice of a woman. Zuma deactivated his view screen on his tag and saw the blonde woman talking Ryder. That's my shop. Oh my gosh, my son is in there. Both Zuma and Rocky gasped at the thought of a kid inside a huge fire. Zuma has never seen a fire as big as one before. If a human is there, ma'am, which floor is your child on? Asked Marshall, running into view. Second floor, by the back of a house. Marshall looked at a deep concentration before a look of a downmate determination appeared on his face. Rough oxygen mask. A red mask sealed into Marshall's face as he turned into Ryder. I'm going in, Ryder. Have someone else take the hose. And keep spraying the shop. Okay, Marshall, you head inside and find that child. Be careful. Ready to arf rescue. Zuma, you and Rocky head back here to help with the fire. Green means go. Let's dive in. Hey, Rocky, will Marshall be okay? It's Rocky and Marshall's, Zuma. Sorry, my speech impalement is something I have to live with. Anyways, Marshall will be fine. He's been training to do his ever since he was born. He'll be okay, despite his goofiness. He's a good fire pup. Zuma barked in agreement and soon made it to the closer harbor with a framing shop close by. Before Zuma could follow Rocky out, an exploration from the shop nearby blew the paws off. There are paws of the great fireball shooting into the air. Holy crap, do you see that dude? Yeah, Marshall was still in there. Ryder, is Marshall okay? I don't know. I'm trying to get in contact with him. Sky, where is the explosion coming from?
Second floor, I can see the fireball all the way up here.
Zuma glum, but if it if it's really the big then that me and Marshall and the child were. Marshall here, I'm okay. Marshall, what happened? It's my fault. I had to dodge a fallen piece of wood. I had to knock over a gas station, a gas can. The explosion blocked my exit. But I found the kid. He's okay. We need to find a way out before we can run out of air. Can you see the way out? Yeah, I think I have a way, but I need Zuma's help. What do you need to do? What do you need me to do, Marshall? Sorry. Still getting used to hearing my name sound like that. Anyways, there's a window in the kid's room. He's right over the water. We can jump in and Zuma bring us to land. Sounds like a plan. You hear that, Zuma? I'm on my way. Although the flames intimidate him, Zuma wasn't going to be scaredy pup when his friend need him. He reached the end of a ritual where the flames hadn't touched yet, and saw the window Marshall was talking about. Tapping his communicator. Marshall, I'm here. Great, watch out below. Axe! The sound of a window smashing alerted Zuma to the window, where he saw the red axe smashing up. Giving Marshall a clear path for the water, the kid, the blonde boy, who had to be around 7 years old, was right beside him. Getting an idea, Zuma cried out, Buoy! The front of a hoover crab opened and shot out a buoy with a line into the water. Marshall, have the kid jump to the buoy. Good idea. We're going to have to jump. 3, 2, 1. The kid screamed, but he managed to land perfectly in the buoy, and Marshall splashed into the water next to him. Spitting out of water, Marshall pushed the kid to the hovercraft where he climbed in. Thanks for rescuing me. Can I get to my mom now? Sure thing, little dude. Dude, was awesome. That's awesome. Thanks. Marshall here, we got the kid. Ryder, we're coming back to bring him his mom. Great work, pups. See you soon. Glad you're still in one piece. I thought you were gonna break your promise for a second there. Don't worry, Chase. I never break my promise. What promise are you talking about? Nothing. Just something we did when we were younger. Let's get back to the shore. I've got a fire to put out. You still up for the morn? Is the fire still burning? Then so am I. He was a hero that day, thought Zuma, with a smile as he gazed in near the repair shop. And not just that day, then he sacrificed his chance to willful fastest firepup, world's favorite fastest firepup. The day he won the basketball game for the Venture Bay, and when he saved those kittens all on his own. Marshall had been a hero through and through. Marshall wasn't just a fire pup. He's the most awesome fire pup ever. Zuma only hoped they would never lost him as he continued his way towards Seal Land. Marshall sighed in relief and he came out from behind the trees. Nothing like a pit stop after a long drive. After this time, no angry squirrels, Yeah, made a good time so far on his journey to Jake's mountain and decided to stop for lunch. Reaching into his bag in his trunk, he dragged out some dog biscuits and began to eat. Honey flavor. Rubble's favorite. He frowned upon thinking of his former friend and thought about how much fun he and the other pups used to challenge Rubble to eat as much as he could for a little pup. He sure ate a lot and made a lot of messes when he did. Marshall chuckled, thinking on the day Ryder took the took took their first public restaurant. Rubble end up eating the entire buffet in an hour. Good thing it's all you can eat. No, I don't think about them anymore. They don't want they don't want to be your friend. So you don't need to think about them. He packed the food away, finding himself no longer hungry. Maybe he'll just need a good rest, that's all. He lay on the grass and closed his eyes, hoping to get some Z's before hitting the road again. It was actually kind of nice sleeping in the wilderness instead of a lookout. No sign of Ryder and the other pups doing what they're doing. Not even Zuma snoring beside him. The two of them curling next to each other in case they had a bad dream. Zuma always used to be those so much, so each of the team slept next to him in his first week at the in his first weeks at the lookout. Marshall began to slowly lose focus and fell into a good sleep, but never noticed the tears dropping down his cheek.